So as I'm discussing drill design or practice design with my class that I'm teaching right now, motor learning class, one of the things that I feel like there's some resistance to or stubbornness with is, you know, the typical drills that we see in every practice situation, regardless of sport, the unopposed kind of technique drills, and so one of the questions that I keep asking is, what is the technique that we're trying to develop through this drill? And then also, what is this drill that is designed to improve this specific part of a specific skill? Is that a limiting factor in performance? So that's one of the things, one of the questions that I asked when I kind of decided that the three-man weave wasn't a drill that I wanted to use anymore. Is, what is it really practicing? And is that the limiting factor in performance? So to me, three-man weave, most people answer it's used to improve passing. And so is the three-man weave practiced in a way that improves performance in a game? Or is it attacking the performance limiter in a game? And to me, it's not. To me, turnovers are not committed because players don't know how to throw the proper pass, in terms of the basic technique of throwing the ball to one person to another. To me, most turnovers are committed because the offensive player either didn't see a help defensive player, there wasn't an open passing lane, there was, potentially didn't judge the distance correctly, but most of it the turnovers result from something to do with the defense, either the defender that's defending the passer or the defender that's defending the pass receiver. And so without one or the other, I don't think the performance limiters are involved in a drill such as a three-man weave. And so if we're really going to practice passing and have it transfer to a game environment, I think it has to involve the performance limiters, i.e. the defensive players. Otherwise, what are we practicing? We're trying to throw a harder pass or maybe a longer pass. You may have some value, but can't we incorporate that into a drill that has defense as well? So we're working on the key performance limiter. I think you can do both. As one of the quotes that I've got from Rafe Kelly that I really like: complexity transfers to simplicity, but not vice versa. So if we do a complex drill, one with defensive players, we can work on the simple skill, the judging distance or getting more power on a pass, at the same time that we're working on the more complex aspects of passing, i.e. reading defensive players, reading teammates, reading the speed of play, making the appropriate pass to the appropriate position at the appropriate time. But if we're practicing a simple skill, so just passing the ball back and forth, maybe to work on power of passes or proper technique, coaches like the thumbs down on a chest pass, things like this, that doesn't necessarily transfer to the more complex practice. So you might be great passing it to a friend across from you, but once you put a defensive player in there, has your performance improved just because you can throw a stronger pass, but you haven't done anything to be able to read the defense, judge speed of movement, so on and so forth. So again, I think it's important that we think about the key limiters in performance, and then we see, can we incorporate the more technique-oriented performance limiters in more complex drills, or is it something that does have to be separated out entirely? So maybe if I'm having to redo a shot because somebody's picked up some really bad habits with their shooting, maybe that's something that I have to separate out from a game environment or even away from a basket to try to make some changes, because the lure of making shots or the lure of the game or something like that presents too much performance pressure to really focus on making change to a shooting technique. But in a lot of instances, I think we can utilize more complex drills, even with younger players. This doesn't have to be just something for older players, but we can use complex drills with younger players and develop some of the more simple aspects of the skill at the same time. And then if we're doing the complex drills and the simple aspect or the technique aspect of a, let's say passing starts to break down. Maybe we're throwing the ball at the feet all the time because we're not strong enough to make a 12 to 14 foot pass. Well, now we can slow down. All right, let's simplify the drill. Okay, let's take the defense out of it now. Maybe let's work on some 2-minute passes, or maybe that's when we use a medicine ball to try to get the passes to be a little bit stronger. So we're doing something else. We're manipulating a different constraint to bring about a different result in a different area of the skill. But just this automatic going to the simple drill because that's what's always been done, I think we need to rethink that a little bit and rethink how we design drills and design practices, and start with the complex and see where we're at, as opposed to immediately going to the basic technique-driven drills.